and I went back and forth uh, because it could be seen what are we doing in ISKCON talking about business and money and entrepreneurship. So the idea was that as ISKCON, as an organization, we are perpetually broke. We are perpetually struggling with money, and our congregation tends to be mostly working in the corporate world, which is grahasta 96% working in the corporate world. And unless you're really up there, you don't have enough flexibility with money or your time to do anything significant for ISKCON. So for ISKCON as an organization to grow, we need to have brilliant devotees who have brilliant skills, but be flexible and give their time and financial resources to ISKCON. And that is the purpose behind talking about how to build a devotee entrepreneurial project or a business or a startup. So we'll start with the understanding that what is our responsibility? The responsibility given to us by Lord Chaitanya is every town and village, right? Spreading the holy name. And Srila Prabhupada said that now cooperate to place this Krishna consciousness movement at the front of all others. That is my request. So to be the number one, like Prabhu was saying today in the plenary session, we definitely need money. And it's not enough for one Gopal Bhatta Prabhu or one Ambarish Prabhu to have $100 million or $1 billion. But if each one of us have a little bit more than what we have, ISKCON as an organization grows, right? Just a comparison, that is the Mormons. You heard of the Mormon church? Not many of you heard because it's a very tiny, insignificant section of Christianity called the Church of Latter-day Saints. They're only 2% of America, and they have $60 billion worth of money available to them. Half of that being in the ventures that they support of their congregation, and half of that in the stock market. And our GBC budget is $130,000 annually, globally. So we can see the disparity. For one country, they have that much, and for globally, ISKCON has this much, and that's a problem. And one might say, well, Prabhupada didn't talk about money. We have Krishna, and money will come. But utility is a principle. That's the basis of what we're going to talk about today, because we all have gifts. We all have some skills that Krishna has given us. And my goal is to help you figure out how to monetize that skill and use some of that earning towards Krishna consciousness movement. So, like I said, when you grow, ISKCON grows. And when we have an army of entrepreneurial devotees who are highly skilled, so one of the biggest things about business is you cannot be just an accountant or just an engineer or just a lawyer and run a business. You're forced to learn people skills, somewhat technical skills, somewhat marketing, somewhat sales. So you learn a lot of different things. And when you're running an organization or a business, and when you bring those skills to ISKCON, ISKCON also benefits. You don't have to go to college to learn those things, right? But it requires a different mindset than what we have today. And that's what we're talking about. It's not okay to say money is Maya, so we should all sit in the in our bhajan kutirs and chant 16 rounds and be happy. That's not how this movement will spread. And again, in the plenary session, it was a great segue to my presentation. Prabhupada's last words were, organization with intelligence, and any organization needs money to run. When I was I was starting my startup. Obama came into power in 2008, and one of the things Obama did was Startup America. And I was a poster child for Startup America, going to colleges and schools, telling them to be job creators. And one of the plaques that was gifted to me was very significant. This is a high school, actually. It's hard to spell entrepreneur, right? So can't spell entrepreneur, be one, and hire someone who can. That's the crux. We don't have to be the most intelligent, the most skilled, the most anything. We just have to have the intelligence to find people who are smarter than us in different segments, pull them together, have a vision, and bring them all along. That's what Prabhupada did. That's what any leader does. They know something, they have a vision, they pull the right people who are smart in their own aspects and bring them together towards a goal. Now, if you still think that, I have a cushy job and I'm going to be okay for the next 20 years, and when I graduate, it's called, I'm going to have sufficient money. Let me tell you something. That's not true. A lot of the stuff that you're doing today will not be relevant 20 years from, or let's say 10 years from now. In fact, post 5G, which is a year and a half from now, lot will change with augmented reality and virtual reality. Lot of jobs will be gone. Driverless cars, right? So you see these ladies doing their own thing, and now we have. So basically, there's two sides of the brain: the left brain and the right brain. The creative side, that is something special to us humans. The analytical side can be automated. In fact, my last company that I sold, we were doing healthcare automation. So basically 90% of the people working in that company got fired. So we were given millions of dollars to build a software that would replace those people in a healthcare billing company. What they would do in 7 days, my software does in 1/6 of a second. And it doesn't need breaks, doesn't need weekends, doesn't need maternity leaves. It works and works and works. 90% of those people are fired, gone. The 10% who couldn't be fired, you should be asking me, who are those? They're the relationship managers. The doctors meet with the relationship manager, they're like, okay, my billing is going right. I don't need to know anymore. They have no clue that the company has profitability has gone through the roof, and it's like practically a people-less company now. That's happening, and it's going to happen more and more. In fact, today, if a 50-year-old loses a job, it's significantly difficult for them to find another job because things have changed so much. You cannot be in a box and expect things to move. So things are moving towards the gig economy, which I'll talk about a little bit more before I ask you a question. So there's a spectrum of devotees. Some are like, Prabhu, just sustenance of body and soul together. That's all I care about. And the other person is, I want to make it big. Millions of dollars, why millions, billions, right? What does it take? So my presentation covers both this side and that side, but I want to know how many of you are on this side, the sustaining the mind, body and soul kind of devotees. Right now in this classroom, yeah. You just want to sustain your body and soul. Okay. And how many of you want to build $1 million business? 50-50. That's pretty good actually. Better than yesterday. Yesterday mostly it was sattvic, like sustenance, body and soul. I don't, Okay, good. So devotees love prasadam. And one of the easiest businesses to start is a cloud kitchen. How many of you know about a cloud kitchen? Cloud kitchen. So basically it's kitchen in the cloud. I'm joking. So what it means is your kitchen, whether it's in a house or in, let's say, even a Hare Krishna temple, you got to get it approved, like some kind of certification. So it's food license approved. And then you can create a WhatsApp group. Let's say your office colleagues or college students or whoever else you know, up to 250 people, one WhatsApp group. You can have multiple WhatsApp groups and just say, Mati, you can take any of these chairs. Any of you, please take the chairs. I don't sit, so take all of them. Chair here also. So you just basically say, hey, here's a menu for today. If you want to order, this is how much you need to pay. Here's a PayPal link or the Paytm link, and people pay. So we started in ISKCON Chicago, the Krishna Lunch program in literally 2 days. Saturday we decided, Monday we were delivering. Took me a couple of hours to build a WordPress website, which is very easy. Go on YouTube, learn how to use WordPress. PayPal, very easy to integrate with WordPress. So we decided every Sunday we will send out WhatsApp messages and emails to people that this is the menu for the week. You want to order it, $5. Book it before 10 a.m. in the morning and we'll deliver it to you by 1 o'clock. People order all through the night till 10 a.m. We close the orders and we deliver by 1. And that is by far the largest revenue stream for ISKCON Chicago. So start with WhatsApp groups, and today we have these delivery companies. In India, we have Swiggy and Zomato, which are a copy of Grubhub. So Grubhub was started by one of my seniors, Matt Maloney, and it's basically they take the food and they deliver to whoever orders it, right, from different apps, and they take a 15 to 20% commission, and they do the marketing for you. You get visibility. You don't need a restaurant. People are on these apps. Millions of people are on these apps. They're looking at your restaurant. You're offering vegan food or you're offering something unique, Indian food, whatever it is. And people are like, I want that. I'm going to order it. That's it. Voila. Do something unique that gives you an edge over others. So I deal with hundreds and hundreds of startups. And one of the things in food business I've seen is it really works when you do it from 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. People get drunk. They need to get over the hangover. They want to order some food and they want to see what's available, and your competition is less on those apps, right? Because most people don't deliver at that time. So if you're one of the few people who deliver, you have an edge over others, right? You make loads of money and you only work 4 hours a day at night. Now, of course, it can, if you're the guy who wakes up a Bagal Arati and does your 60 rounds before sunrise, it might cause a little trouble, but this is just an option, right? And if you're in Europe or other parts where veganism is a big thing, it's good to be vegan because that gives you another edge. People are like, oh, they not only deliver in the evening, late hours, they also deliver vegan food. And, you know, Christian lunch, we used to call it, still call it karma-free yogi food, right? And people love it, like, karma-free, what's that? And that's where preaching begins, and you go all the way to, you know, whatever you need to explain. Now, if this feels like, okay, kitchen, little bit of licensing, this and that, it's a little difficult. So there are easier things to do. So I'll talk about the influencer later, but let's say consultant or life coach or parenting coach. Most of you have read the Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, or heard enough lectures that you can happily, I'm sure if I tell any of you to give a lecture on parenting or life skills, you will be able to. And nobody does it better than ISKCON. No one. Right? In our Bhagavatam, in our Mahabharata, we have extramarital affairs, we have war signs, we have economics, we have financial issues, gender issues, we have everything covered. Nobody does it better than us. So very, very easy for you guys to take what you do anyway, what you know anyway, and sugarcoat it a little bit and sell it to the outside world. And people like Jai Shetty, Gaurapurnima Prabhu, and others are doing it in a very large way. It doesn't have to be so large. We can do it in our small ways. And if you're a temple that is trying to make revenue, this is a highly sustainable model, right? I've run the Krishna House in Chicago, and we used to do that. We would teach them meditation, we would do counseling for them. People would pay 40, 50 bucks, you know, just to attend, just to hear. And before you know, they're coming to Sunday feast, and the story goes on, right? Consultant, if you are skilled in certain things in a company that you're working in, let's say marketing or market research or SAP or whatever else skills that you have, LinkedIn is your best friend. People, you already have a reputation. People already know that you have 10 years or 5 years of experience in this, and you can become a consultant and make loads of money from that. Franchise model, if you have some money saved up and you don't again want to use your creativity, or you're not the creative type, get a franchisee like Gopal Prabhu was showing. You got the branding, you already got the customers taken care of, you got the system in place, all you got to do is just run the day-to-day affairs, and it works like clockwork. Now, if all this looks very difficult to you, I'll talk about something that you can make money while you sleep. Not millions, but enough to sustain your life and soul. Warren Buffett says, if you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you'll work till you die, which is very true. So drop shipping. How many of you know about drop shipping? Okay, good. No, okay, a couple of you do. Okay, so basically the simplest thing, you go on Alibaba, you find certain products, they sell wholesale. So let's say you're selling a Logitech mouse, and most of you are Indian, so I'll say in rupees. So let's say it's 800 rupees for a mouse on Amazon. You get 20 of those on Alibaba for 400 rupees, right? You buy in bulk, you put the address, shipping address to Amazon's warehouse, it directly ships from Hong Kong to Bangalore, and your product gets sold. We have an American company. We bought this brand from Sony called Aiwa. So same thing we did, manufactured in Hong Kong. And initially we sold it in the US. Then we were like, why not all around the world? And any country that has Facebook, YouTube, and Amazon, we sell it. What do? We take the products, we give a few products to the influencers on YouTube who have millions of followers. They say, Bose speaker, JBL, not so good. Aiwa, awesome. You should buy this one. There's an affiliate link. People click on it, go to Amazon. When they buy it, the influencer gets paid 10%, and we get our product sold. And they do it in their language, in their country, and it's selling like anything, right? So basically, Facebook ads also, we take those videos, put into Facebook ads. Facebook ad goes to Amazon. Again, we sell a product, and we don't even have to leave our countries. Works beautifully. So now some people just take the product and they ship it. Now it's our company, so we get an added advantage. But people who want to do drop shipping with our product, for example, they just buy it from Hong Kong and directly ship it to Amazon and just schedule the Facebook ads, and it works like clockwork. Takes you 2 hours a day to schedule things and make sure sales are happening, and then the rest of the time you do whatever you want to do for ISKCON. Does it make sense? Am I going too fast? Too fast? Okay, I'll slow down. So Alibaba is just one example. There are many manufacturers who have ready product with FCC approvals and everything, right? So you just look up what those products are, talk to the manufacturer, see what's selling on Amazon, see the price difference. You buy in bulk, and you put the shipping address to the Amazon, create an Amazon seller account, right? And it goes directly to Amazon's warehouse. They do the fulfillment. They take 30%, and the rest is yours. Even if your markup is more than 50%, you still make 20% there. Right? Makes sense? Very easy. If you don't get it, just Google dropshipping. There's plenty of blogs and videos about it. Oh, sorry. You can just put it down. Okay, now I was talking about the gig economy, how the jobs are going to change, right? Today we have 9 to 5 jobs, but the gig economy is changing everything. The guy who delivers Swiggy in the morning, he drives the Uber at night, and in the afternoon he's doing graphic design on Fiverr and freelancer.com and making 90,000 rupees a month, which is around $2,000, right? Now this guy has never gone to college, and he's making more money than a normal engineer. Engineers in the room? Okay, a few. Generally it's mostly engineers. So that's the gig economy. You work when you want to work, you don't work when you don't want to work, you take a Wednesday off and just sleep all day or watch Netflix, not like devotees do that, but rather chat 64 rounds, and have fun, right? You work at your command. Your life is at your command. You make the amount of money you want to. If you don't want to make something like, you know what, this month is Kartik, I'm just going to do Vrat and all that, I don't want to make money, fine, take a month off. It's your freedom. Generally, teenagers to unmarried singles, this is their favorite thing. It's also percolating into skilled professionals, because they do see that even through this process, they have a basic monthly income, and surplus or little below, they can manage it. So it's getting to more mainstream, but not mainstream yet. But this is a very easy, busy way for people to use their skills and monetize it. One Mataji was asking me yesterday, I'm very good at Excel, but who would want to use me? I said, go to any venture capital firm. They would love to use it for financial projections. Accounting firms, you name it. There's so many different ways. Just go on Fiverr, go to freelancer.com. You will find so many uses for your skill, because she goes to advanced level Excel. Why not, right? People can illustrate. Sure, Facebook ads. Somebody's phone on. Okay. Thank you very much. I'm sorry for the interruption. Okay, so gig economy. Anybody here want to know more about this, or this is not your cup of tea? Okay, a couple of you want to know. Okay, good. So I'll talk about YouTubing, right? So one person in Delhi, he's 19 years old, and when he was 14, his father lost his job and said, "Beta, I cannot pay for your education anymore. I lost my job, I'm in really bad shape, a lot of debt." And this guy, he looks at his computer. He says, I still have internet. I don't know how long my dad will be able to pay for the internet. So let me start making videos. And he started reviewing, I was telling you about iOS speakers, how we give it to those influencers. So he started reviewing those products, phones, speakers, this, that. And quickly, he gained a following of 500,000 people following him. And that boy today makes around $7,000 to $8,000 a month. And he's never gone to college. He's hardly crossed high school because his father couldn't pay for it. And he's minting money. Amazon pays, Samsung pays, all these other, Myntra and all these other companies, they pay him to review products. So if you have that X factor in you to become an influencer, you can make a hell lot of money. Now, when I came to India, I was like, okay, what do I know? Startups, okay. I can speak a little bit, I've done TED Talks. How do I combine these two? So I started doing videos. And I talk only on startups and spirituality and combining the two, right? So I don't have a Jay Shetty like billions of followers. I have maybe a few thousand here and there. But those few thousand are so targeted. They're CEOs of different companies, right? That they have the ability to pay in 6 figures and 7 figures, sometimes 8 figures. And that's what I'm converting. They watch my videos, and so the largest hotel company, Oyo. So I was sent by our Prime Minister to the Prime Minister of Nepal, and CEO of Oyo was there, Ritesh, and a couple other people. And he's a billionaire, and he's like, Avello, his first opening statement in the speech, Avello, I watch your videos, I love them. I was like, oh, that's so great, right? And people like that are watching these videos, and they're like, you're an expert, help me out. I'm willing to pay the big bucks. Sure, I'm there for you, right? So I'm sure, and all these big CEOs, they also have issues with their wives cheating on them, or wives having husbands cheating on them, alcohol issues, midlife crisis, depression. In fact, I was invited by a bunch of 65-year-olds to talk about midlife crisis. Literally, I was like, do I look like I could talk about it? I said, okay, I'll talk about it from Krishna's perspective, Bhagavad Gita. I had a whole box of Gitas I brought in. It's corporate preaching. And at the end, the box was empty. Everybody took the Bhagavad Gitas. And one guy walks up to me and says, I own a TV channel. And you're speaking Sunday prime time on Bhagavad Gita in suits. I said, done. 7.5 million people, right, watching every Sunday. So that's what I'm talking about. I know each one of you have that skill, and you have the ability, and especially, today it's very fashionable to have a tilak, thanks to Gaur Gopal Das and other devotees who are coming out. ISKCON has a lot of influencers in many countries who are really helping spread the movement to the young generation. 1965 model is one model. It works for Sattvic people. But for people like me who are Rajasic and Tamasic, we need a little bit more hip, a little bit more glamour, a little bit more fun than that, right? Like our Ajita Prabhu talks about fun, females, flexibility, and finance. That's the secret to success for Krishna House that he built. For 35 years, has been a massive generator of devotees. Right? Fun, it should be a lot of fun. Young people should feel like this is amazing. Flexibility, understand that they cannot wake up 3 o'clock in the morning, so make things a little easier for them to transition in. Females, when you have females, males also come. But if it's just men, like we do in India, only single males, it becomes a little difficult. It becomes a little obstacle. People who are a little fun-loving, they're like, oh, this is not my place, right? People are used to co-education, coexisting with the opposite gender. And finances, we want to make sure our finances are strong and clear, right? We should not beg, we should earn. That's the model. That's why we are doing this. Because if we are ISKCON and we are earning, then ISKCON is earning. We don't have to go out and say, please, Prabhu, can you sponsor this car for me? Can you sponsor this for me? This, that, right? These are some skills that are useful if you are planning for the gig economy. So, oral and written skills are important if you want to do business, any business. You have to sell, you have to explain, you have to identify, what you're doing and what's of benefit in less words. And in a way that people feel inspired, like, wow, I want this. It really solved my problem. Coding. You might be a bad coder or an okay coder, but coding helps you also learn logic. It helps you think in a certain way. It helps you with management. And I'm not saying it, Bill Gates says that. But coding will help you, if you're in tech business, to understand how to talk to the techies so they do what you want them to do. They fulfill your vision in your way. Designing. So Gopal Bhatta Prabhu, for example, he has 5,000 salespeople calling every day and selling. My businesses don't have salespeople. The website is designed in a way where the colors, the fonts, the buttons, everything is psychologically attuned to sell. I'll give you an example. There was a mattress company that has 2 kinds of websites they tested. One that had the dollar signs in the background. The other one had fluffy clouds. The one that had dollar signs, when people went to the website, they would go for the cheaper mattresses. They were price sensitive. When they entered the fluffy cloud mattress, they went for the comfortable ones. Price didn't matter so much. Now, they have no idea this is happening, but that is happening at a subconscious level. And that's a skill called UI UX, user interface and user experience, right? And that's what designing is. It's not just designing with Photoshop and Canva and you're done. is understanding the psychology of people making decisions and designing, right? Project management. Most of you know what project management is. Managing projects, leadership, etc., communicating, deadlines. Data analytics. So much data has been created. If you know and if you have that left brain working, no matter what, data analytics does not go out of business. Money management. A lot of gyani is available out there. How you manage your money, how you grow your money, etc. Languages. If you speak Mandarin, if you speak Spanish, if you speak any other language, it gives you an added edge over your competitors, right? You know, some, like most Indians know at least 3 languages. If you know a little bit more, it gives you an added advantage to perform in whatever ways. Search engine optimization and hashtag optimization. Anything you build, you need to be visible, right? So for visibility on Google, you need to know how to write the right keywords in your website, on your app, so you're visible. And hashtags is for social media, whether it's Instagram or LinkedIn. You need to be visible, and you become visible through hashtags. Let's say if you see any of my LinkedIn posts, I'll say startup India, spirituality, Bhagavad Gita, and each of those hashtags have millions of followers. So I might have 15,000 people in my list, right? But there are millions others who are watching it because of the hashtags. Now, what hashtag do you choose? That's important, right? So these are some of the skills that are in high demand, and they don't take more than a few days to learn. But if you know them, there are companies who are willing to outsource it on those gig websites where you can sit home and make money. It takes time. Yes, Prabhuji. Google it. There are blogs, there are YouTube channels, and there's this Udemy. If you want to take a course, want to get a certificate, go to Coursera or Udemy, and you get certified, which you can put on LinkedIn, and it's added advantage. But if you want to learn it, just Google it and find the best influencers who have done it, who are talking about it. Not like book knowledge, but they have done it, they have millions of followers. That shows that they know what they're doing, right? But it doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, right? Few months to a year, it will take for you to see massive results. Will you make money from the first week to first 30 days? Yes. In the system of the gig economy, you will be able to generate cash for yourself or for your temple or whatever else. I mean, I like the concept of Brahmacharya Ashram 2.0, where brahmacharis actually generate revenue, not only through book distribution, but through the skills. A lot of skilled brahmacharis come to our movement, and we tell them to wash pots. I mean, anyway, not commenting. Any questions so far before we move on to the big business aspect? Okay. So now, before we talk about how to build a multi-million-dollar business, I'll just give a little brief about my journey in 3 minutes. This is me when I was 19 years old, building an automated robot at the Illinois Institute of Technology, Chicago. This is me, my 4th year, wearing a suit, I'm an entrepreneur now. So I started in college basically when I was 19 years old, with no money, but lots of friends who are the smartest on campus. So currency of relationship, in the first TED Talk, you can watch it. Later, Radhanath Swami actually spoke on the same topic in Google, currency of relationship. So that's how these guys, and then it grew and grew, and all of these guys are working in Google and BMW and Cisco and all these big companies. And me and Edward, now Yashodanandan Das, ended up recruiting this team and growing our business. The CTO of Motorola, head of marketing for L'Oreal, VP of innovations for Wrigley, people like that had everything. They had the Ferraris, the beach houses, the millions of dollars worth of salaries, but they didn't have one thing. What is that? Of course, they didn't have Krishna, but they didn't have flexibility. To even have a baby, they need permission from their bosses. They're a very small cog in a very large corporation. They have no idea how it's impacting people's lives. And at the age of 30 or 40, you want to do something where you feel the satisfaction of impacting people's lives. And in a startup, it's very easy to see the face of a customer smiling and paying for your product that you build. It's a great feeling, I tell you. So together, we have built multiple businesses, and in US, in Canada, in Hong Kong, India. And when you're young and you do something unique, it gets talked about, right? And a lot of these news articles that talk about me do mention the fact that I'm a guy who teaches Bhagavad Gita and practices it, who is a vegetarian. And these things are the ones that differentiate me from others. I don't hide it. I don't hide my Kantimala. All my pictures, wherever you Google me, you'll find Kantimala. People reach out to me, tell me more. I'm interested. In fact, many billionaires have reached out just seeing that. Like, I want to know more about Bhagavad Gita. I'm suffering. I have all the money. I have everything. But can you tell me, what makes you so happy? What makes you do what you do? And that's where preaching starts. So your business becomes an instrument for preaching. You reach people that you otherwise wouldn't reach. You wouldn't get their appointment. But because you're in entrepreneurship, you're mixing with those guys, and you're one of them. You're like Krishna's spy, right, in the corporate world, and you transform them. Right? I also teach at these colleges, IITs and IIMs, as well as in the US, virtually, on entrepreneurship. And I use spirituality very blatantly in everything that I do. Bhagavad Gita principles. People at least get exposed to the fact that Bhagavad Gita is not just a religious book, it's a very practical book, and you should read it, right? Yeah. So that's my latest business. So we are a startup incubator. We educate startups, we incubate them, we give them resources so they can grow. So in the last 3 years, since I've been in India, we've been able to create 400 plus revenue generating startups, 4,500 jobs, and it's growing by Krishna's mercy. And many of those entrepreneurs are practicing devotees, and I have something called Philosophy Friday. So every Friday, those entrepreneurs come, they learn Bhagavad Gita, they are giving up meat eating, they are chanting Hare Krishna, and they are also utilizing the Bhagavad Gita principles in dealing with their employees, in dealing with their business practices. So that's my latest venture. Back to $1 million. Okay, so when you break it down, it becomes a little easier, isn't it? Right? Easier. People think it's difficult to make $1 million, but easier. Now, what you see here that was not there in the first part of my presentation, the gigs and all those businesses didn't have something that's here, which is why this is scalable to million or billions of dollars. Can anyone tell me what you see here? I have not mentioned it, but it's there. No. I'm very opposed to MLMs. You're selling a product or a service here. A product, right? You're selling something. There, you're just selling a skill. Here, you're selling a service. That means others will be interested in partnering with you, because regardless whether you live or die, the company will go on. In the first part of this presentation, the things you are doing, if you die, your family doesn't get anything. It's just you selling your skill. Here, you are building something tangible with the help of other people that is being sold, and regardless of your existence, it will go on and it can be scaled up. So you don't start with the idea, you start with a problem that's relevant, big enough, faced by enough number of people. And this is the definition of a problem according to our philosophy. A problem is something that no one wants, but everyone has to face it, and no one can avoid it. We know it better than anyone, right? What are they? Thank you very much. Birth costs a lot of money. Death, in the US on average $10,000 for cremation and coffin and whatever else, right? Wake. In India, it's also happening. Many startups are popping up for death-related services. Old age and disease, healthcare, pharmacy, none of them are less than any $1 billion, right? Lots of money to be made in these, and there is more. There's transportation. Uber is making so much. Communication, right? You solve problems in these segments, and people are very hungry even for imperfect products. But before you decide what segment you go into, Prabhuji, there's a seat here. You have to do a little bit of self-assessment as an individual. So I would like you to write down your top 2 skills and 2 things you're passionate about. And when I say skills, I mean tangible skills that you can monetize. Like you can build something, create something, whatever that might be. And passion means I like flying, or I love music, or something that you like to be around. That's your passion. Video games maybe, movies, whatever, fashion. Sports. Two things, two skills and two passion. Basically your psychophysical nature. Sometimes it can be difficult. The journey of self-discovery. All right. So why am I making you do this? Because the thing that you're passionate about, let's say you're passionate about cars or fashion, right? You will understand the problem of that market. And because you empathize and you feel the problem of that market, you are the best person to come up with the potential solution with the skills that you have to build a product or service to solve the problem of that market. Does that make sense? Should I repeat? You good? Okay. Yes, repeat. Your passion is about the things that you love, and you know people who are similar to you. That's your market. What is a market? You go to a market, you buy potatoes, you buy whatever, right? Somebody's selling, somebody's buying. So you're part of a market that you can feel the pain of a problem that is felt by most people in that market. And you have the skills to solve or figure out a solution, to build a product or service to solve the problem. But you don't have all the skills. So you need some co-founders. You need a team. You need a partner, somebody who can help you, who has something you don't have, and you have something they don't have. So the right brain, left brain. If you're analytical, get a person who's more creative. If you're a creative, get a person who's more analytical. A creative person will do great with marketing, advertising, dealing with people, negotiating, sales, all of that. An analytical person will deal with finance, operations, right? The boring stuff, and they love it. They want to be in the cubicle. They just want to, and the creative guys want to be out there talking to people. They don't want to be in their rooms and offices, right? You need both. And together, putting it all together, you meditate on it, you synthesize that to a business model where you can make money. What is the business model? I'll make it really simple for you. Have you seen sugarcane juice being made in Mayapur? Yeah? Yes. Okay. So your blood, sweat, time, effort, creativity goes in. Value gets created. You're solving problems for people. You're creating value. Revenue comes out. That's the juice of the sugarcane. Revenue comes out. That's your business model. So you're putting in the effort. That's your cost. You're creating the value. Let's give you a simpler example. I'm sure you've been on a plane where they give you cashews, right? In India, generally it costs 150 rupees for a little box of cashews, and they give you probably like 10 or 12 of those, right? Now, how much does it cost to maybe the cashew would be like 5 rupees, let's say, and then they clean it up. That costs a rupee more. Then they put it in a beautiful packaging that looks good, and they give it to a captive audience on a flight. You cannot jump out of a plane. You're hungry, and that's all you got. You pay $150 rupees for that. You understood? So that's the value you're creating. That's the revenue you're getting. The captive audience, you're giving them cashews on the sky. That's the value, right? So like that, create something valuable that people are willing to pay for, and you make some good amount of profit. It won't be right the first time. Like I said, it takes time. You build, you test, you learn. You build, you test, you learn. You will fumble and fall. The first taste with the market, you will struggle. Just like you when you tried book distribution for the first time, or driving for the first time, or walking for the first time. A child fumbles and falls. Parent says, try again, try again. So business is like that. You fail fast, you succeed faster, but don't get disappointed. It's just part of the game. My name is Avello Roy, my real name. and it's named after the middle name of Thomas Edison. Thomas Alva Edison. And there's a significance to it. Thomas Edison tried to make the light bulb how many times? 10,000 times and failed. Somebody counted, I guess. But a lot of times he failed. And then he finally got a light bulb, and we are sitting in a lit room or projector for the light bulbs came from so many failures. So a good startup also comes from a lot of failures. I'll give you a nice example. Have you heard of Zappos, the shoe company? No? Okay. Oh, so Amazon was doing very well, and this one guy had a bright idea. He said, why not sell shoes online, and really premium shoes? Devaki loves this, right? Premium shoes, right? Online. So he's like, but I want to test it first. I don't want to spend all the money building a nice website. So what he did, he went to a shoe store and said, sir, can I take pictures of your shoes? He said, why? He said, because I want to build a website and put those pictures on my website. And if I sell any of those shoes, I'll buy it from your shoe store at the selling price, and you make money. He said, fine, I don't care. I mean, take pictures as many as you want. If I sell shoes, I don't mind. So this guy again went home, built a WordPress website in a couple of hours. Literally takes a couple of hours, drag and drop. And he put those pictures up, and he waited for a couple of days, and he sold his first shoes. It's like, this works. People are willing to buy shoes online. He went to the shoe store, bought the shoes, delivered those, and spent a lot of money building a nice little e-commerce website for shoes. Amazon bought it for billions of dollars. Billions later on, right? The Zappos. Google it, you'll see that the biggest shoe store retail in the world. Building, testing, learning. So fail fast, succeed faster, right? 2, create a unique bragging proposition. Your business should be brag worthy. How many of you use Truecaller? Truecaller. Okay. How many of you use Skype? How many of you use Facebook? Okay. So Truecaller is a little less, but I'll explain what Truecaller is. Basically, if you put in a number, it tells you who it belongs to. It gives you the name of the person. And Truecaller never spent any money in advertising. There was a bragging proposition. People are like, you give me any number, I'll tell you who it belongs to. Really? How? Give me a number. Oh, wow, how did you do that? Well, there's an app called Truecaller. I'll download it too. That's awesome. So your customers become your salespeople. They become your marketers. And that's the cheapest and the best kind of marketing. That's how our movement has spread, right? People are like, you want to be happy? Come join the Hare Krishna movement. In fact, my Krishna House card said, we have a monopoly on happiness. People love that. Book distribution will be like, we have a monopoly on happiness. Want to come join us? Unique bragging proposition. But there's a science to it. Back in the days, people would just throw their money into a business and hope to God it works. Today, it's a science. It's called lean startup methodology. How much time do I have? Okay, what time am I supposed to stop? Anybody knows? 12:15. Okay. So, lean startup methodology is basically they've gone through 10,000 successful businesses at Stanford University and come up with the practice to build a successful business that works, right? And one of the best features of that is minimum viable product, MVP. So let's say you're planning to build an app or a website or a product. You can cut out a piece of cardboard or a PowerPoint and just build the screens. That this is what my app's going to look like, and go out to people and do market research. You ask them, what do you think about this? Would you use it? Would you pay for it? Do you see there's value? Don't listen to what they say, look at their eyes. You'll understand a lot about if they really like it and are willing to pay for it, or they're just trying to please you, right? That's called market research. Primary, secondary market research, there's a lot of data available. That's called secondary research, like Nielsen and companies like that. And there's primary market research available where you directly talk to people and figure out what the market is saying, or you go to places like Quora or places like that to figure out that how many people are searching this on Google, how many people are talking about this, and you get it, this is a problem. For example, breakups, financial issues, addictions to social media today. More than drugs and alcohol, it's addiction to social media, addiction to your phone, right? Big issues men especially are facing more than women. Translate that market research to product design. Henry Ford asked people, what kind of transportation would you like? They said, we have 2-horse buggies. Instead, we want a 4-horse buggy or a 6-horse buggy. He said, no, no, no. They want cars that they can afford. They just don't know it. He made affordable cars, and today we have traffic jams, right? But he was a genius. So this I cannot teach you. This is your genius. This is why some of you will make 100,000, some of you will make million, or some of you will make a billion, because you know how people think. You can predict the future. You can predict the buying behavior. And it's not very hard to do. Look what policies are changing, what's coming. Like I said, 5G will change a lot of things. There'll be a holographic projection of me in the next ILS. Just joking, but that's quite possible. You can be anywhere in the world and you can be physically present in any meeting, anywhere. I mean, that would revolutionize preaching, wouldn't it? A little bit of personalism added to the impersonal aspects. Prioritize your minimum viable product. Don't try to build everything for everyone. That is nothing for no one. You build something for someone, and it's a niche segment. Like I said, whether it's a vegan cloud kitchen, you focus a very small targeted market. It makes your marketing easy because you can target that market. You know who they are. You are relevant to them. And then you slowly grow. Prabhupada started with hippies, right? He could feel their problem. They do not like authority. They don't want war. They want to experience something more than their lives. So they're taking LSD. Prabhupada is like, here is Krishna consciousness. You want to be happy? You want to stay high forever? Here is Krishna consciousness, right? He was relatable. He spoke their language. So when you target a small group of people, you can speak their language, you can be relatable, and you can really become the king of that market, then spread. Amazon was selling books. Now they sell anything from A to Z, right? So prioritize your minimum viable features, build your prototypes, get feedback constantly, till you're able to answer these questions. Who is my customer? What product do they actually want? And how do you build a sustainable business around it? When you have these answers, you're a business. You're no more a startup. Till you have this business, you're struggling to find a business model. You're searching for it. Some money is coming, but it's not growable. It's not scalable. It works this part of the country. It doesn't work at that part of the country. When you have these answers, and you can get them from a little bit of Facebook ads, 40 rupees a day is the minimum, it's very cheap. To see who's reacting, what demographic is reacting. Is it 25 to 45? Is it the 65-year-olds? Or is it the 18-year-olds? Who's reacting to my ads? What buying power do they have? How do I morph or evolve to get that market? Boring you? Is it going above your head? Any questions so far? All good? Okay, good? Okay. Two kinds of businesses. Product business, service business. Product means real product, like real product you can touch and feel. You need a little bit of money to start with this. So there's seed funding if you have a rich dad or friends who can give you something, or you have some savings, or crowdfund it. A mentee of mine, she basically made a video. So iPhones have speakers at the bottom. So she took a Starbucks coffee cup, cut it out, and put it at the bottom of the iPhone and made a video. Look, it sounds louder when you do it this way versus this way. And she put it on Kickstarter.com. She was hoping to raise $10,000. She raised $300,000. With that money, she went to China, built the product, came back, and she already had her customers even before she had the product. That's crowdfunding. People who like unique stuff, they go on these crowdfunding platforms like Kickstarter, Indiegogo. There's so many of those. You can just Google it. And they're like, I want something new. And that's how they fund their business. And before even they have the product, they have customers. I'll give you another example. In London, a couple of 4 years ago, in fact, there was 3 guys who had the idea for a restaurant, but they didn't have the money beyond the initial deposit. They're like, how do we get the tables, chairs, and the decorations and everything? So they're like, we have to make it go viral. What can we do unique in our restaurant? So their uniqueness was, their uniqueness was you could go in and eat naked. You know what I'm talking about, which one? Yeah. You can go eat naked. And they sold 45,000 tickets worth 60 pounds each in a matter of 3 months. And with that money, they decorated the restaurant, got the tables and chairs and everything. And the day of opening, they had a line outside their restaurant. And I did go there, but I asked somebody who I know, said, so how are you guys doing now? And he said, we are 3 restaurants now. We are a chain. We are growing. The point is, of your Vaishnavas, please don't take offense. But the point is, no matter how ludicrous the idea might be, but it was viral. And they funded it before they had the restaurant. So you need to think creatively how you can get people to pay for your product or service or restaurant or whatever it is that you're building by showing that this is what's possible. But like, I want that. And they're willing to pay for it. And there are platforms available for that called crowdfunding platforms. Build, test, learn. As you go through a real product, you build, test, learn, you use a better product, raise some investor money, launch it, marketing, distribution, sales. Anybody wants me to go deep into this real product thing? Yep. You? Okay, we'll talk one-on-one. You're the only one. I'll go more into service because it's easy to do. And my focus was to give you more time for ISKCON. So you can give more time and money to ISKCON. So just get started. If it is a service, you have some skills, your customers are hiding in LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. For business to business, LinkedIn. For business to consumer, Facebook and Instagram. You're a great storyteller, go tell stories on Instagram and Facebook. You're a great accountant, go on LinkedIn. You're really good with legal skills, go on LinkedIn, connect with folks. People like me who have hundreds of companies connected to them. You get hundreds of clients from one guy, right? It's that easy. You can do organic reach initially, and if you see that there's traction, you're doing well, do some paid. See how it goes. If it doesn't go well, try something else. Ask me, I'll help you out. Once you're making money, focus on accounting and compliance and management, because you could go to jail if you don't follow these things, right? Because those are things are not glamorous about the entrepreneurship and startup, but that's what sustains you. So you need accountants, you need lawyers. And then once you've figured out that this is working, go all out with sales push, whether through a website, like I said, UI, UX, or telecallers, but you need people to push through beyond your social network. The kinds of people you need, the people that you have in your business are the ones that make your business, just like the devotees, right? The devotees we have in a temple are the ones that make the temple here or here. So, yeah. Sure. Good? Okay. So you're the founder, you have co-founders who are taking stake in the company, they're part owners, and they take also the risk to go forward. Executive team, they execute. The outsource team, so let's say you don't know technology and you are not able to hire people who will build the technology for you. So you give it to a firm that has already 50, 60 people who are already educated, who are already very good, and you take a little piece of their man hours, right? Board of advisors. So when you're starting a business, your customers don't trust you. You're a new guy. So board of advisors are guys who are, big names in the industry. And you might think, why would they become my board of advisor? 2 reasons. It bolsters their ego. And 2 is, you're giving them a platform where they say, I advise you, I give you gyan. Everybody likes talking. Everybody likes to be on a platform where they can give something back, right? So if you ask enough people, you will find a few good names who you can put as board of advisors. This helps with your credibility. The fact that you're a new business, people trust you because of those gray-haired folks who are giving them their name to you. Interns are great. You can get them for free or a little bit of money, but they're great for low skill work and they have high energy. You give them a certificate. In fact, for my Krishna House, we did an intern program. We had Chinese students. It's very interesting with preaching, those who are preachers. We had these Chinese students at my university who had to go to 70 hours of training in a corporate. I said, ISKCON is a corporate. So we would get these Chinese students. We cannot talk about God. We cannot preach to them. So I said, look, I don't speak Mandarin. Here are Tamal Krishna Maharaj's books in Mandarin. Can you read them and make PowerPoint presentations out of them? So they had to read the books, right? And then I would tell them, okay, now make these speeches in Mandarin to other Chinese students, talking about yoga, bhakti yoga, and other things. And eventually you would see them at the temple, Hare Krishna Prabhu, right? Chinese people. I didn't say God, I just said they were doing our work, right? So great way to use interns, not use interns, utilize interns in your business or your temple, get work done, and also give them exposure to some devotional things so they can also become potentially devotees. How do you find these people? LinkedIn, and there are certain other people, your college alumni, F6X. These are places you find them. But most importantly, you find them on social media. This is a real stuff. Uber, everybody knows Uber, right? The CEO of Uber, Travis, tweeted, looking for entrepreneurial product manager, biz dev killer for a location-based service. Pre-launch, big equity, big peeps. The CMO, this guy, I think he lost his job that day. He was looking at the tweet, he's like, here's the idea, email me. And he's a CMO of Uber, chief marketing officer, right? Making billions of dollars. Social media is very powerful. So everything I told you works. Like I said, Kolkata Ventures, we have done this for the last 3 years, 400 plus startups. We are in 3 countries because we do virtual incubation. You don't have to be in India. And so whatever I told you has worked. Thousands of jobs have been created. Lots of revenue has been created, and many devotee entrepreneurs have been made. And the goal of all this is so that in ISKCON, we can have more devotee entrepreneurs who are financially rich and have flexibility to serve ISKCON. And the way to get started is empower your dream with a deadline. Please don't just go out of this course and be like, okay, that was nice. Someday I'll start something. I want you to write down a date that by this date, I am launching my business. Will you do that for me? Thank you very much. I'm very Googleable, my material name. I'm the only person with that name, Avello Roy. You can find a lot of startup videos, Bhagavad Gita videos on Avello Roy YouTube channel. You can reach out to me on Instagram, on LinkedIn, on Facebook. And that's my email address, and this is all for Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you very much. Any questions? Yes, Prabhu.
You must be knowing Ramdev in India, a sadhu. He's building products like anything, and it has gone just like. So we were just having a national Indian meeting. Why can't ISKCON is a brand name, completely brand name? Why can't ISKCON we do something? We buy dhotis, we buy it from Louis Bazaar. They make money, and your presentation very good. And I will tell our bureau you should come and give a presentation there. Past 3 years we've been working, nothing has gone because branding is very important. ISKCON is a branded name. Like Akshay Patra, if we tell anybody Akshay Patra, they think it's ISKCON. He has done a good job. So we are very marketing. So you have in-house experience, and sharing is a considered morning, and you can only share your experience and we can do it. Otherwise, we are losing all our hard-earned money to the meat eaters and the other people who are not following the regulatory principles. Thank you very much.
At your service, Prabhuji. Anybody else? Any other questions? Yes, Mataji.
I know you are very skillful and you can teach us from example, but I just want to know how you advertise your class to Ajita prabhu, about this class. He announced the only class I announced. So how did you do that?
I asked him to go speak with me, and he kindly agreed. So that's the board of advisors thing I was talking about, right? You put somebody on your board, and they bring in the clients. Looking at them, clients come. So I got Gaurapurnima Prabhu to be my co-speaker. So he does the announcement, and that's the partnership you get, right? Strategic partnership. Thank you for noticing that. By the way, I didn't tell him to do that. It just so happens. Yes, Prabhu.
It may be that you don't like this, you told earlier. What about your view regarding MLM business? Yes. Because people are running after that and losing their time. And
most multi-level marketing businesses are run by frauds. So there are a few real ones, but most are frauds. Like they said, there are some real ones, but most, if you see, there's plenty of things that you see are fraudulent. So I don't tell people to go. If you find something real, it teaches you how to sell well, but you'd lose relationships, right? You're trying to sell to everyone. People are like, "Bhai, he's coming, means he's going to sell me something. I don't want to be around him." So you become that person that nobody likes, right? That is why I don't like MLM. It's not entrepreneurship. It's basically selling. You're trying to make your little commission, try to help somebody else make some commission. Not my cup of tea. But if you want to just get started with, okay, I want to get out of my box and I want to learn how to sell, it's okay. It's an okay platform to do that. Anything else?